All right, here we are. My name's Ginger,
And I'm Brooke.
and we're still here. I've been thinking a lot about expectations lately. I don't even know when it started, but they feel louder lately. And so I don't know. I would just like to talk about them a little bit.
Okay.
I have, what are expectations we carry quietly in relationships?
Oh, I didn't feel like we were starting off that heavy, like right away.
It doesn't have to be that heavy right away. I mean, it really doesn't. So it's like, what are things we assume people should know or things we feel but don't articulate? We don't have to get into the like big heavy things right off the bat because there's plenty more questions. But like things we feel but that we don't articulate.
Do you have an answer for this one already?
Um
I feel
Yeah.
like I'd rather you go first.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do think, I'll jump right in. The big ones that I think in friendships, I do think that I expect to, like, is it right to say that I unrealistically expect bigger things in friendships? But like, as we talked about, I feel like I expect people to show up the same way that I do. And I don't know if that's unrealistic. I used to think that it was unrealistic. I used to think that like people showing up the same way that I did is not what you should do in friendships. And then now that my very close friendship circle has gotten so small, I mean, basically this is the circle, that I don't think it's unrealistic. Like, I think you have to find people that show up the same way that you do. And whether that is setting huge boundaries and whatever, and that's what works for you. But I don't set boundaries, and I show up for people, or I show up for the people that I'm in it with, right? Or that I believe that I'm in it with, all the time. Like, if you need me there, I'm there, like 100%. But
Yes.
expecting that from other people, I have been told is unrealistic. And now I don't really accept that.
Which I think is, I mean, I don't know. We've talked about that, right? That I don't think it's unrealistic to want the same thing, like to want the same level of participation, right? Like the same level of somebody like showing the effort that you put in. I do always find it interesting. I think I struggled with this really hard early on, when a lot more when I was younger. And shockingly enough, Jamin, my ex, was the one that like kind of expressed to me. And I remember like at one point he was like, "You're expecting her to put in the same level of friendship that you show up with." And he was like, "And she's not. And like, you need to lower your expectation because she's not the same kind of person that you are." And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, I'd never thought it. Like, it was a mind blowing statement because I'm like, everybody should. Like, it just makes the most sense. Like, if I'm your friend, I'm going to put in 100% into this relationship, and you expect other people to do the same, and they don't.
Right. And that's, yeah, it's 100% what I'm saying is like, nobody is, I've been told multiple times, no one's going to be as good a friend as you are, and you shouldn't expect them to be. And that's, and that should be okay. And I'm totally fine with that peripherally, right? Like, you're outside friends. Like, but I've had very close friends who show up when they want to, or show up for 10 minutes and check the box that they showed up. And that's not actually showing up. And that's fine for the vast majority of your acquaintances, right? But, and I've always been, the same thing Jamin said is like, I've always been told no one's going to show up the way that you do, or you have unrealistic expectations of friendships, and no one's going to do the things. But then and I would also like to clarify that in my life, this has not been the way that I've shown up for friends for the vast majority of my life. I was not a good friend to a lot of people in high school and in college and all those things. So I don't want to make a blanket statement that I've always shown up in the perfect way, or I've always been this most incredible friend and I've been stabbed in the back all the time. Like, it took me a very long time to understand like what actual friendship was. And I did like have a lot of really good close friends in high school and college that I took advantage of. And I didn't know how to be a good friend, but that's not necessarily like I'm talking about now as an adult, as a fully grown human that I've like, matured into, that I do really value friendship in a different way than I ever like as a kid.
Right.
I was a terrible friend as a kid. As a young adult, was not, I was
Well, it does grow and mature. Like that should grow and mature with you as a person. Like
right.
your perspective on relationships, it does change. And like the things that are important to you when you're 15 are different than when you're 20, that
Right.
are different when you're 30 and then you're 40. I mean, it's meant to grow and mature and change.
Right. Well, and you're trying to figure out who you are, right? Like who I was back then is not, I don't know. I was still working through like wild pieces of trauma back then too. And so I was looking out for number one, 100%. And
But I think even since we've known each other, like it's completely different now than it was just 7, 8 years ago.
for sure.
Right. I mean, and like that does change. And as you do start to kind of like settle in, and I do think it does make a difference. And I think because I've always kind of struggled with the same thing. I wanted everybody to show up in the same way that I did, put in the same amount of effort that I always feel like I'm putting into all of the relationships. And it does change things when you meet somebody that does do it. Right. So like meeting you and then realizing that where I always felt like I put in 100%, I feel like you were putting in like 120%. Like it was so much more. And then it was just like, oh man, like then I want to do more because you were doing it. And then you do find a place where you do kind of like come and settle. And it's just like, I don't have to go above and beyond, but I am going to do more. And I want to
Right.
do more because you do more. And you do settle into that, which is a really nice, like freeing feeling when you do find that person that you can be
Right.
like, oh, you do the same as I do
Yeah. And
in a different way, but the same amount of effort.
but still, like, it's the same, like, that you just show up for each other, right? Like,
Yeah.
you show up each other in the moments that count. And um, even in the moments that don't count, right? But it's not, yeah, it's not like a scorecard or anything like that. It's just you settle in, like you said, like you very much like settle into a relationship. And whether that's friendship or a relationship where you just like really feel like everybody's giving 100%, 100% of the time, even when you don't have 100% to give, right? Like you still show up. You still,
Yes.
the other person is, gives you the space to, I don't know. I don't want to say not show up because I don't think that's a thing, but like give you grace.
Well, I think so because I am a pullback person, right? Like when I'm
Right.
going through a hard time, I do need a minute to kind of collect my thoughts and kind of get my feelings in check. And I think that you were such a different person that at the beginning you do kind of push in because you're nervous, like, I want to be there for you and let me do this for you. And you do reach a point where you kind of know each other so well,
Right.
right? Where it's like, I don't have to push in and I don't have to give 100% because I know that when I'm ready for it, that you can. And I know that when I'm ready for it, you will.
Right.
Like, and there's so much comfort in knowing that I don't have to do anything because I know at the same time, like when you need space, when you need something, I know what you need. I know what you need ahead of time and you know what I need ahead of time. I mean, like
Right.
that's the best kind of relationship to find yourself in after struggling so much with other friendships and other relationships in general. Because I mean, it's not just friendships, it's every relationship, right? Where it's like, I want people to put in the same amount of effort that I do. And so it does shift things for you whenever you kind of realize like, oh, I don't have to really do anything. Like, you know what I need ahead of time, which is
Right.
really nice.
Yeah, and it feels so relaxed, right? But also like I am not a pullback person.
No.
I'm in crisis and I need your help right now. Like I'm like this literally just happened to me. I'm driving home and I'm freaking out and I need you to be at my house when I get there. Like we're so different in that and it's hard to navigate what the other wants or needs when our expectations of each other are completely different, right? Like I you are I need you to show up for me and it's on a scheduled time and like in 3 days let's go do this thing because I have something to tell you. And mine is I'm in my car crying right now because this thing just happened to me and I need you to meet me at my house right now. Like I'm 20 minutes away, please be there. And I need you in that moment. I don't like 3 days from now. I don't even know who I'm going to be 3 days from now. So, but it's nice that we know how to show up for each other in those ways, right? But also know that like we both specifically need each other. It's not a like, well, if you don't talk to me, I'll go talk to somebody else. Like you were the only person that can help me through this, like kind of situation.
Right.
Yeah. Bigger situations, right? Like I am married. I love my husband. Like he solves so many, he's my person. Right. But it's like, there's other situations that he's not gonna, whether or not take seriously, or he's not going to be the person that I need to go to in that moment.
Right.
Yeah. So the difference between expectations and standards. Where is the line between having healthy standards and unrealistic expectations?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah. Because I don't know where that line is. I mean, I feel like I have more standards and boundaries than I've ever had. And I feel like
I
have
agree with that.
less unrealistic or at least I'm not classifying them as unrealistic expectations. Like I have standards, I have boundaries. I try not to let people like walk all over me or take advantage of me or those kind of things. I think those are healthy standards that I'm currently struggling with. But I also I'm convincing myself that I don't have unrealistic expectations. I think I've passed off not getting along with people as I have unrealistic expectations of friendships. Like, but I also think some people are just shitty.
True.
Yeah. And I just think like being able to say that out loud and say like, I don't know, like I think you're shitty to me and I don't want you in my life. Like, I don't think those are unrealistic expectations of people. I think some people are just like not people I want in my life.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the years that I've known you, I think this is the most I've seen you have that boundary between expectations and standards, and really realizing that not every person is going to rise to the expectation, but you have to have a standard somewhere.
Right.
There has to be like a baseline, and I do think that you are finding that place. And I don't like. I think what's hard for me is I think you have such a big heart that I think it's very easy for people to kind of like take advantage. And I like that you have now kind of this base standard where you're realizing like I need to draw a line here because like I'm not willing to accept beneath this, and I think that that's really good. You know, I don't know the same for myself. I think I'm still learning that, but
Right.
in not in necessarily maybe like a friendship standard, but
Right.
as like a relationship standard. I mean, coming from my ex-husband, where I think we were just talking about at lunch, right? Like the bare minimum line wasn't even being met, and so I'm learning what's the standard, what's an expectation, and like what's like above and beyond, like where do things fall.
Right.
And I think I'm trying to figure that part out in relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think I've struggled in that in relationships. Like, I am very much a cut and run kind of person in relationships. In that, like,
Oh,
that in like, like relationships where I'm a fast jumper. Like, I will, if you don't do not even, I have a bare minimum, and if you don't exceed that bare minimum, like, I will cut and run 100%. And probably a little too fast. I mean, if my relationship history is out there, 100%, like, I cut and run too fast. But in friendships, I don't know why that's so hard for me.
I was about to say it's weird because I think we're the opposite. Where in friendships, I know where I stand. I feel confident. I feel confident in it. In relationships, I don't totally know. And you are the exact opposite. Like in relationships, don't do this. Don't. The amount of times where you're like, no, be done. Cut that. Like, nope, we're done. Like that's it. That's the line. That's the bare minimum. You have to realize that's the bare minimum. And then in friendships, though, like you give all the grace.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I appreciate it as a friend.
But it's true. I don't know, maybe it's a different standard for men and women that I have. Like, that women are always like, women can always change and, and improve. And women are always, I feel like women are always working on themselves. And men, 100%, I'm like, well, he did this, done. Like, we're done with him. I have nothing left. Like, and what are you doing? Like, what is your problem? And it's funny, like, I'm just now realizing, like, I know that I'm really hard on men. I mean, I don't like men in general, except one I love very much. And he's the only one, cause he's like, I don't know. I don't want to go down on that like rabbit hole, but he's the only one that
He's a good one.
for sure. But he's also like the only one I trust, like the only one that, and all others, like, you make one mistake and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you with him? Any of my friends, they've been married for 20 years and they're like, oh, my husband did this one thing. And I'm like, ugh, why are you with him? Like, you would be so much better, like, on your own, like, by yourself. Like, what's your problem? And yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, and so, like, standards and expectations. Yeah, that's hard. I mean, so, like, how have our standards changed over time? Mine have changed huge. I mean, like, I do think my standards when it comes to friends has changed huge. That I just, like, I don't know. I'm trying really hard to, I've always wanted like a big, huge friend group. Like, I don't think that I had one growing up. I didn't have one in high school. I didn't have, I mean, I always tell people in high school, not people in high school, people about high school, because anyone in high school
doesn't listen.
Then, well, they wouldn't agree with this. I've gone on the Facebook comment fights about this, but like, I didn't have really good friends in high school. I was generally friends with everyone, but I didn't have, I mean, I had a couple that I just don't even talk to anymore. I mean, like, but no, like, group of friends. And there were big groups of friends that I could like totally walk into and be friends with and talk to them every single day. But like, I didn't get invited to things. I didn't get, and I wasn't in any group. I was just kind of like friends with all the groups. And so I always wanted like this big close knit group of friends. And if you go through like the timeline of my life, I had these big group of friends, but then like something happened and I was like, I'm not friends with you anymore. Or, like I'm a very cut and run kind of person. And so like we have an argument and I never speak to you again. And I'm gone and I reinvent myself and I go move to another state and then I'm in that state and then I have, some friends and then something happens and I move to a different state. I mean, I just very much am a pick up and run kind of person. And so, I don't know. I think my standards have changed now that I don't want that big group of friends. Like I'd rather have one person that I go to that I like is my soulmate friend that I know I'm going to have forever than try to like fit into this group that
Right.
I also have a mouth on me. I mean, I also like say what I think. I know. I also like say what I think unapologetically and it gets me in trouble all the time. And I don't know. I kind of wish that wasn't a thing. But I mean, like, yeah, I am who I am, I guess. I don't know how else to say that, right? Like, you never have to guess with me.
No, which is great. I mean, I do love that. I love that I never have to wonder what you're really thinking because I don't know if you know this about me, but I tend to overthink things.
Right.
Never have to wonder what you're thinking or feeling. Like I know exactly where I stand with you. And it's so nice. It's so nice. And I do. So I do love that you always say what you're thinking. And then I always know too, like, okay, back off a little bit. Like if we are on opposing views of things, which we are often, right? Like I know when to back off and you also know when to like back off. Like I
Right.
love that. But,
Yeah, most people don't appreciate that. Most people don't appreciate my mouth. And that's why I don't have a lot of friends. And that's fine because I'm also not a high pitched, oh my God, it's so good to see you kind of person. Like, that's not me. I'll be like, you're here.
it's so obvious and I love it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's just, I don't know. I would love to grow and be a better person and not be that way, but it's not happening. I mean, I'm going to be 47. It's not a thing.
I don't think that's a grow and be a better person. I mean, obviously it's funny because you say that. And last night I was at Justin's and we were talking about that exactly. And he was like, I don't think Judge Jordan knows what to do with me. And I was like, I think it's more because y'all are the same, that you both are very opinionated and you both express your opinion very freely. And like, you don't hide it. You say what you think and you say it in the moment also. And
Right.
It's so nice. I do very much appreciate that. I mean, and I don't think I realized it until that moment. I was like, oh, that's probably why I like him so much because y'all share like that quality. But it's so freeing to like not have to guess what you are thinking in the moment because you do both say it and I love it. It's
Yeah.
so nice.
I think like we both struggle with that with each other because I'm always like, I don't think Justin likes me because we do. I mean, like as soon as something comes out of his mouth, I'm like, I don't agree with that. Like, that's not right. That's not, but that's exactly how I feel. And I think we push back on each other. And I mean, like, I love him for you. I think like y'all are so great together. There's a lot of things that he says where I'm like, no, I don't. That's not how I feel. My favorite is, I'm not going to. Anyway, so what did we expect at 25 that feels different now? As far as
I expect at 25?
Yeah, as like expectations and standards.
Expectations at 25 was that my husband was going to love me and I was going to like raise this great family. That did not happen.
Right.
Newsflash. Almost 15 years later,
you finally let that dream go.
I finally let go of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think my standard of man partner is different is wildly different today than it was when I was 25. I mean, at 25, as a young Christian girl, right? Like at 25, and granted, I was married at 23. I had Jones at 25. But I mean, your standard is like, well, I need a godly man, right? A man that says that he loves the Lord. And you kind of tend to overlook other things in the hope of finding that man who says that he loves the Lord. And so I think at this point in time, and not that I don't want a man who doesn't love the Lord, because I'm not saying that, but I think I want to look more at the character of the man rather than solely focusing. And I think, because I even did that kind of at the beginning of dating, where I was kind of finding my way and then trying to navigate more towards a man that says he loves the Lord. And you do just kind of go right back to that place where it's like, but I can see that like your character is terrible. Like
Right.
you're not a good person. And so, I mean, my standard in that aspect of like the 25-year-old that's like, it's fine because he loves the Lord. He says he loves the Lord.
Right.
And
He has
then
that name tag that says, I'm a Christian.
yeah, but then does nothing else. And it's just like,
Right.
I'd rather have the guy at this point that is a good man, that, loves his kid, is a family guy. I mean, all of those things where it's like that standard has shifted.
Yeah.
And like in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. Me at 25. Whew, like that. I'm so glad that girl doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Me at 25. I remember in my early 20s saying out loud a lot of the time, it doesn't matter what I do. Nobody expects anything from me anyway. Like that was like my mantra. It was
At
very much
25?
at 20. Well, like early 20s, right out
That's
of
so
college.
young.
Well, that was the thing, was like, I'm so young. Everybody thinks I'm dumb anyway. Nobody expects anything from me. I can do whatever I want. Like there are no expectations on me. And so, not caring about my job and being wasted 95% of the time. Like
Was there a point in time where you didn't care about your job?
Yes, ma'am. I know. I wish people from my past
That's
could
hard
just
for me to believe.
get into a glimpse of like, yeah, no, I didn't care about work at all. I don't want to go on record out in the universe like what I did at my job for my early 20s, because I don't know if I could still get in trouble for it. But yeah, no, early 20 Ginger
Never
was
mind. I know what stories we're talking about.
was a complete
Never
disaster.
mind. I've heard those stories. Forget what I just said. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no, it's early 20s. And then like, I don't know if it's midlife, but right before I got divorced, that was a terrible time in my professional life as well. I mean, dark, dark times of no, I mean, I had responsibility, but I didn't care about it. And so I didn't have expectations or standards, let's be clear, at 25. I really didn't think, I don't know, I guess I didn't think relationships or friendships would be so hard. I think that was my difference. I thought everything would be easy. I thought like you just find your people and then you're with those people and everything's great. I didn't realize that it was work and that you also had to like get your heart broken by women
Everyone.
in
Yeah.
friendships. I didn't know how much of that was a thing and how devastating it was. At 25 or 35 or 37, or 38 or 39 or 40, did I know how devastating it was to get your heart broken by friends? It never even dawned on me. I mean, like, you lose a friend, go to a party, pick up some more. That's who I was in my 20s. So it was like,
Pick up some more.
well, I mean, like, I can walk into a room and talk to anybody. And when I have a meaningful conversation with somebody, they're my best friend for the rest of my life. And that was super
True.
easy for me. And I didn't think it was going to be this hard. I didn't know that women breaking up with you would be as gut wrenching.
And it is.
Or like women you're forced to break up with. I didn't realize would be so devastating. I don't know. That's a big lesson. That's a big lesson for young people. Like women will break your heart worse than men will.
Yes.
And how gut-wrenchingly devastating that is. If I would have known that, it wouldn't have been that bad. But it was just so shocking how much that hurts, but also like how hard it is to recover. Because like relationships, you're born and raised to know that boys break your heart and it's sad and and you go through these things, but you don't realize how grown women can rip your heart out and stomp on it or make you in something.
Well, and it is interesting because you always hear, you always know that it's a thing in high school and that
Right.
high school girls are the meanest. But you do just kind of go, but like women don't grow out of that, right? Like, so that's like a continuous thing. So women are just, and they're mean. They're mean. And everybody knows that a high school girl is like the meanest, but like,
But they
that
grow
just
up to be
continues on. Like they don't all grow out of that. And so like women are just, they're cruel and it's a mind game and it's all of the things. And it's so overwhelming as you're trying to like navigate adult female friendships.
Yeah.
And then you throw in kids.
Right.
And then like there's so many different things. I mean, I had one person like make a comment about my kid and I just remember being like, and I'm done. Like you're a terrible person at that point in time. Like you're just a terrible person. I don't want to be friends with you. Like I'm not trying to make this work anymore. But they're mean.
Right. Yeah. No, and it's hard when your kids are involved too, when your kids are involved with like other people's kids. And then your kids can't be friends with those friends because you're not friends with them anymore. Like,
Right.
Yeah, that's really hard. Or your kids get blacklisted at the same time that you get blacklisted because of some choices that I made and then now my kids aren't in the groups that they were always in because of some choices that I made or some situations that I got myself in. And like, that's really hard. And
Or because somebody else is just mean. It has nothing to do with you. And it's like, I don't even know how to explain to my kids
right.
that like, I'm sorry that we don't hang out with them anymore. And you can't give any reason because it's like, I don't even know. I don't even understand why we're not. I don't know what made her so upset. I don't know what made her mad and like set her off. But clearly something did. But then it's just like, but I can't tell my kids anything because I don't know. I mean, it's so hard. All of it's hard. I mean, women are hard. They're mean.
I think that was my biggest thing from being younger was that I had no idea it was going to be this hard. I mean, in my 20s, I feel like we were all very mean, but to each other's face. And I don't know, we were mean to each other in a more direct way. And now it's so much more
mind games
and like no one's mean to anybody's face. And so then you don't know. It's like, I don't know, we're not speaking anymore, but I don't know why. And then people, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, I didn't realize it was going to be this hard when I was in my 20s with women. And yeah. All right, what do we expect from ourselves in relationships?
What do we expect?
From ourselves, yeah. Do we expect ourselves to be easy or calm or strong or unbothered?
Well, for that matter, I expect myself to be strong. And I expect myself to be kind of that stable. I like the idea of being kind of that stable, steady person. And so I feel like when my emotions, which I think is also why when I'm feeling so unsteady, I need a couple days to like kind of probably regulate myself a little bit more, because I don't like it when I feel like my emotions are out of control. And then more so because I feel like then it's a burden, and I don't want to burden anybody with my feelings, but I need to be a steady, stable, like emotionally stable person. And I don't really know why, but I don't know. And I don't know if it's as much my expectations partnered with the expectations of others a little bit. But I mean, I feel like I have to be. I have to be steady.
Yeah.
I can't have big emotions any direction, because I feel like if I do, then it just throws everybody off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I expect myself. I have unrealistic expectations of myself. I expect myself to be like mature and calm and unbothered by what other people think, and I get really down on myself when I catch myself worrying about what other people think, and that happens all the time. Like, I mean, I would like to say not daily, but I'm pretty sure it's daily, that I like expect myself to react in a different way to stressful circumstances. Like last Friday, had a bunch of kids over at my house, the whole situation. I knew it was going to be wild and crazy. 100% knew it was. Thought I put things in place to kind of make it okay, to where like I have these expectations. I know it's going to be bigger and louder and more than I want it to be, but I'm going to be okay with that. And I lost my shit, like completely lost my shit, got way more stressed out my kid, like stressed out your kids. Like it was so much. And I thought I had put things in place to be calm, cool, and collected about it. And I 100% failed. But I also think that I like expect myself to not care what other people think, on a completely separate subject, but I catch myself very much caring what other people think. I always say when those things pop up that say, what's some advice that you would give to your younger self? And for me, it's always, you're going to care what other people think. Just care what the right people think. And I wholeheartedly struggle with that right now. Like, I think you should care what your partner thinks, what your kids think, what your like soulmate best friend thinks, because they're the people who care about you the most. But I always have to remind myself of that. And I wish I didn't have to so much.
But I think it's really hard to I think when you expect yourself to feel that way, in the same way that I feel like I have to always be strong and steady and carry the weight of all of the things. I think so, like even last week, whenever I texted you that I need help, right? And then you were like so ready to jump in because you felt like finally like I'm reaching out in a moment. I don't know. I think it's always really nice because it's like, oh, I don't have to feel that way. I don't have to be this calm, collected person at all times. Like you always,
Right.
you strive to be that person. But we also, I think it's really hard for us to realize that we don't actually have to be, and that there's people around us that are like going to help us navigate that for when we're not.
Right.
I mean, so I do think even for last Friday with you, I do think that there was like special circumstances around the fact that you tried to plan that, and your 11-year-old was like, no, I don't want to plan. I don't want to
Right.
schedule. I want
Right.
zero things. And then Harrison's girlfriend's mom was there. And that throws in a whole different range of emotions, because not only are you trying to navigate an 11-year-old's birthday party with tons of boys in the house, but also you're navigating that your son is in his bedroom with this girlfriend, and you're just like, I don't know how to feel. That's new. His mom is here. I don't know her. Like, there were so many things. I think you did a great job considering all of the things that were in play in that exact evening, because that was a lot. That was a lot of stuff.
It was a lot. And yes, I would like to, thanks for thanks for bringing that up because I would like to like record this that Harrison's girlfriend came over last Friday. So, and her mom came over and that was so cool. Like she came
Yes.
over, we met her. She was so nice and we had great conversation. And it's so funny that I did tell you, I was like, can you come over early? Cause her mom's coming over and I don't want to embarrass myself. Like I need you to come over and like be a buffer. And she came over and it was good. I told Harrison, I was like, I yapped the whole time. Like I just constantly so much came out of my mouth that I wasn't planning on saying or discussing. And it was so funny because I told Harrison, I was like, and I didn't even have anything to drink. Like I was completely drinking iced tea the whole night because we were having a million 11-year-olds staying the night. And so I didn't know who was going to want to go home early or needed to go home early or needed me to call their parents or, and so I wasn't drinking. And Harrison goes, well, fun fact, like at least we know now that it's not the alcohol that makes you talk all night long. And I was like, thanks, Harrison.
I love Harrison.
Yeah, I was like, thanks. That's great. Gold star for me that I'm annoying even
But
without
facts.
the alcohol. Facts. Yeah.
Facts. It's not the alcohol that's stressing you out. You do it either way.
Yeah. No, and it's not like there was like booze everywhere, right? I mean, anyway, it was a cool night, although Henry went into Harrison's room looking for the cat and the kids were running in and out of his room. So Harrison closed his door and I had to go in and I knocked because I didn't want to embarrass anybody, but I knocked and I opened it and I was like, what are we doing? We don't have closed doors in this house. Like, how is that a thing? And Harrison was like, I know, it was just really loud out there. But like these two 14-year-olds are laying on his bed watching a movie. Like, on what planet are we okay with that? Like, I don't know. I just,
We're not.
we're not. And it's stressful. And I know the circumstances were that there's kids running all over the house. And so they just wanted to watch a movie. And I get it. Like, I totally get it. But I also know what was happening to me when I was 14. And no, you're not going to be just like hanging out in your room with the door closed, much less laying on your bed watching a movie. Like, I am not that cool of a mom. It's not a thing. It's not going to happen. No. Well, and so then they did come in and like watch a movie on the couch, which I'm totally fine with. And I get it. Like, you know,
It
I
was
don't,
insane that night.
yeah.
And
I
you
don't,
you do understand that part.
right. And I know that there's kids running in and out of his room. So I know like they're not actually doing anything. But just for future reference, like when she comes over, like you're not in your room with the door closed. Like that's not a thing. And I don't know like how to stress that even more. Like I'm not going to be that cool mom that
Well, you
lets
just
you
keep
do all those
enforcing
things.
it. I think that's all you do is you just keep
Yeah.
enforcing it.
Well, I mean like Henry and Virginia can't go in Henry's room and close the
Right.
door. They can't. They're 10 and 11. Like,
And they're just friends.
I know, like I'm 100% sure there's nothing, but at what point do you say, okay, this is the rule? No, it's always the rule. It's always been the rule.
Mm-hmm.
There's no girls in your room with the door closed. It's not a thing. I actually don't like either one of my kids' doors closed ever. And so I get it. There's a point in time when they want to be by themselves and close the door. And I'm 100% down. But when Harrison has Anthony spend the night, I'm like, you can't close the door because why would you need to close the door? There's no reason. There's not anything that you're watching. There's not anything that y'all are on. There's not anything that you're doing that you need to close your door. Like, and so I'm not going to put my kids in that situation. What if like one of my kids likes boys and like you can't close the door? Like it's not a thing. It's so there's not, the hard rule is you can't be in your room with anybody and close your door. That's the thing. And so, I mean, all those little rascal kids were in my house in the movie room and like leave the door open. Like there's 11 of y'all in there. No reason to close the door. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. Like, fucking kids. Like, oh my God. Anyway, okay. So let's see. Where are we harder on ourselves than anyone else is? Oh my God, I feel like this is like every aspect of my life. I'm harder on myself than anybody else is.
Yeah, I mean, same, right? Like, where am I not harder?
And who's hard on me? Like, I don't think anyone's hard on me at all in my life. No one is hard on me. I am 1,000% harder on myself than anyone is or could be. Yeah, I'm not successful enough. I don't try hard enough. I don't work out hard enough. I'm not a good enough friend. I'm not a good enough wife. I'm not a good enough mom. Like, I'm harder on myself than anyone is in every column of every aspect of my life. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that I would imagine the same for me. I mean, I always think that it's not ever enough.
Right.
And in the back of my mind, that's at the base of like every like hidden word, every hidden meaning like that I read into other people's, like somebody will say one comment and I immediately go to like, then I'm not good enough. Like I've messed up somewhere, like, and it's my fault and it's my problem.
100%.
And I know that. I know that I think that way and I know that it's not true. But I also like can't see it any other way. Like it's
Right.
always 100% me. So I
Yeah.
don't think that there's anywhere else. I think I'm the hardest person on me.
Yeah. No, I agree on both of us. Like, I think that's a very easy question to answer. Terrible, but it's easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so these questions are really good and really big. So,
Okay.
but honesty, no details. Have we ever realized we were disappointed and then had to ask ourselves why? And was it something that they did or something we expected? I have a big one for this one.
Okay, then you go.
Okay, no details. But recently, reaching out to be a good friend to somebody and then them completely blowing us or it or me or whatever off.
More than once.
In big ways, right? But I mean, like, it was only to be a good person and it was only to be there for somebody who I thought needed it and got completely blown off. And so, like, am I completely disappointed in that they blew me off or that I had expectations? Like, I do think I had the expectation. I had the expectation that they needed something that I could help with, and maybe they didn't. Like, maybe they didn't need that or need me or need us or need anything. And so I got very disappointed to the point where, like, I cut and run. I have cut and run. I am no longer around. But was it something they did or was it my expectation? I think, like, I'm leaning more towards it was my expectation.
Yeah. I mean, what's hard, I think, with that situation, without trying to give too much detail away, is I think there was a lot of unresolved feelings on your part.
Right.
And it's so hard to try to like not say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that there was a level of, I don't know if it's a level of expectation, but at the very least, a level of hope. And I think that's what was hard to kind of come to terms with, was that I think that you were hopeful. And then I think with the way that things played out was very clearly not in line with what you were hopeful for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what
That's
expectations
so
are,
vague.
right? But that's what expectations are, right? Like I was hopeful, but it's also like wasn't for me. Wasn't for is not going to enrich my life in any way. I was just trying to be helpful.
Well, it was a person that you cared about.
Right.
And I think that's the hard part is where, right, and even talking about women and how difficult women are, is I think when it's a person that you care about and then you are hopeful that they're going to at least see that you care, whether they need it or they don't need it. You want them to at least see that. And I think the fact that that person didn't see
Yeah.
or cared in the same way.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard when you just kind of go, I'm trying to show you that I care on whatever level it may be. And so, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it sucks. But it's also like, I cut and run. Now I'm done.
Yes.
Now
Which
I'm
I
done
think
and
is
there's
good.
no going back. Right. Like,
Which is very healthy. I think
Yeah.
it's time.
right. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind for me is my divorce, right? Because that was, I know that there was a level of expectation for him to respond in a certain way, especially with the way that it ended. I think, 3 weeks after my dad passed, him saying that he's going to volunteer to leave for deployment, it's very hard. And then when you're trying to navigate and kind of be like, I need you to show up in this way. And I'm sure I had expectations of what I wanted him to respond with. It's hard because you do just kind of go, where do I draw this line?
Right. Yeah.
But,
Some expectations are healthy though.
and they are. And I think it's good when you do kind of reach that point. I think like with what you're saying, right? You do reach a point where you just kind of go, I'm done. I don't have anything left to put in and I don't have
Right.
any effort left to give. I can't care anymore. Like I just feel a little bit empty in the way that this is going. It's so one-sided for so long.
Right.
That I do think that it does end up being like super healthy to just kind of go, it's time to cut and run. Like this is the time to walk away. And I have to walk away.
Yeah.
And I think that's good.
Yeah. No, I think it is. Like,
I don't know if that was the question or not. I don't
Yeah.
actually remember.
yeah. Okay. Let's see. What expectations do we have for our kids? And what expectations did we have of motherhood that weren't realistic?
Ooh.
Those are two separate questions. So,
I don't know. I feel like the motherhood question, I don't know that I had any more expectations. I think if anything, I thought I was going to be more of a like fun mom in the sense of like, let's go out and we're going to go do this and then we're going to go do that. I thought I would be way more along those lines and I'm not. And I do think that also plays into like, I've always kind of been a single parent. So like I'm exhausted. I work, I do all of the things. And so I don't necessarily have the energy. So finding the fun things to do with them is different than what I thought it would be. Like I expected to be a different kind of mom. You know, the mom that I thought, you know what kind of mom I thought I was actually going to be is, we're okay with naming people, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna, but
Angela.
you can.
I totally thought I was going to be an Angela Rich mom. And Angela plans all the crafty things. They're constantly
For sure.
doing stuff. And I genuinely love that. And I love seeing the things that I love seeing what Ruby does with them. And I totally thought, I always thought I'm going to be that kind of mom. And I'm not. I'm just not. Like, I don't have it in me. And I love it. That's why I love Angela. Like, I do think she's great. I think she's tons of fun. I wish I was that kind of a mom. But at the same time, like, I'm just not. I
Yeah.
like that my kids can like sit around the table. I love that my kitchen table is trashed because of paint and all
Right.
of the things. I love that we still have tons of stuff to do, but I'm not the mom that I thought I was going to be, but I don't think I'm like too far off from what I want to be.
Yeah, I think you do a lot of fun things with your kids. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit that, like, your kids aren't just stuck at home every single night not doing anything. Like like you
Yeah.
go do no like can we
They do a
just
lot.
but can we like also nobody is the Angela Rich mom. Like she is made from something other. Like
Which is
she's
true.
I know, like I mean like that's an unfair expectation. um but she's just a different she's the mom that they make movies about. Like that's not a realistic expectation, I don't think. I think for me, I truly thought I was going to be the mom who's like my kids always dress cute, my kids always ate organic stuff. I made their baby food. Like they were always going to do all the healthy things. I wasn't going to be this mom who like made dinner and then made something else for my kids because they wouldn't eat what I'm making for dinner. I was like, no, like my kids are going to like know how to sit and eat at a nice restaurant and all these things. And I did that very specifically with Harrison, and Harrison won't eat anything. Like I don't think you get a choice. Like I really thought, and then Henry came along and I didn't even try. And
Yeah, loves
will,
it.
Henry will go to the nicest restaurant and order the wildest things on the menu. I didn't even try with him, and Harrison I specifically tried with. We went and ate at Stephen Pyle's for John's birthday when Harrison had just turned 1. I think we used their one high chair. We got the wine room. It was like the fanciest restaurant, and I had my little baby there who knew how to act and and all the things. And then he grew up to like, we make him mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. He's 14 and we still make him frozen chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. And like, and he won't eat the things and he won't. And I don't think you get that much of a say in those things. I don't think that I thought it was because you didn't try hard enough. I thought the moms who gave in to their kids or who didn't do the things, it's like you didn't try hard enough. You didn't do it long enough. You didn't, and that's not true. So I wanted to breastfeed my kids until they were 2, and I did it. And I thought it was because I tried hard enough. And then I like meet people and they're like the doctor said I can't because my kid was starving to death because he won't latch on. Yeah, like
that's me.
But
I
also
tried.
but also if you don't want to, who fucking cares? Like it doesn't have anything to do with I tried hard enough or I didn't try hard enough or I wanted this or I didn't want this. Like it's not, I mean, I really thought that I could schedule things or I'm type A, I'm a planner and I plan this out and I would, blend bananas with avocados and freeze them. And that's what I fed my kid. And then somebody handed me a bottle of baby food or like a jar of baby food and was like, or you could just put a spoon in this. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me, and it's like, it doesn't have to be that hard. And if that's what you want and that's what you want to do, I'm all in. And I would, if I ever watched your kid and this is how you wanted things done, I would 100% do it the way that you want it to and support you and all the things. But sometimes you also don't have a choice. Sometimes like your kid's not going to breastfeed and sometimes your kid is going to, this is the story. So I made pork chops with cooked, like cinnamon and sugar cooked apples on the pork chops, like gorgeous meal. And baby Harrison, before Henry was born, he was eating solid foods. And he ate the pork chop and he loved it. And I was like, eat this It's cooked apples. It's like cinnamon and sugar. Like it's applesauce. That's all it is. And he didn't want it. And I made him eat it. And he projectile vomited all over my brand new dining room table. And it was like, and from that day on, it was like you couldn't make him eat anything. And it just, it's not, like it has 10% to do with you.
Right.
And 90% to do with your kid. It doesn't matter what kind of mother you want to be. Like you're going to be the mother that your kid needs you to be or wants you to be. Like it just, oh my gosh, that's my biggest unrealistic expectation of motherhood was that I had a choice in all these things. And that if I tried hard enough or if I worked at it hard enough, I would get to have the experience that I wanted. And it just, that's not true. Like, it's just not true. It just is what it is. And you just ride that boat until it lands somewhere.
Just go with it.
Yeah. I mean, it just is what it is.
And I think that's why, I mean, even to the other part of that question, right? Like expectations on your kids. I don't feel like I really have any. And mostly just because, I mean, you do learn pretty early on, like I don't have any say in it, right? Like I show them to a certain extent. I teach them what I believe and I teach them what I think is correct and I discipline them accordingly and all of those things. But like as for the kind of people that they turn into, like there's really not any expectations. Their likes, their preferences, there's zero control over any of those things. And so it's like I don't have any expectations as to like what kind of person my kids are going to be other than just good people. Like that's kind of the only thing that I expect them to be is just good people. And then other than that, like there's no telling. Like I don't have any control in that.
Yeah, no, that's like exactly how I feel. Like I just want my kids to be good people. I don't know who they're going to be or who they're going to grow up to be or what their passion's going to be, like what it is that is going to make them them, as long as they're good people. Like that's the only expectation I can have of them. I mean, I guess I could like throw anything else on them, but it's kind of like,
but you can't.
I know, like
Not
you
really.
don't know. Yeah. All right. And so one thing you're realizing about expectations. This is the end.
Ooh, I think one thing that I'm realizing about expectations is that they are not always unrealistic. In the way that I think I've always had ideals of what I think would be so incredible, and then what I do expect from people, hoping for more. And I think what I'm learning in friendships and in a relationship is that sometimes my expectations are really low. And sometimes people go like above and beyond. And it's not unrealistic to hope and expect more of people.
Yeah.
And like that's a really nice feeling to know that like I don't have to have a low bar for somebody to blow my mind. My bar can be pretty high and it can still get like blown away. And so I like the idea that that expectations are not always unrealistic.
That's good. It's funny. I was going the opposite way. I was like,
Oh,
one thing I'm realizing about expectations is that they're on me. Like they're my expectations of other people. And other people have no control over my expectations. And so they don't have any say in whether they meet them or not, especially if I don't communicate them to them. Right? So in a sense, all of my expectations are a little unrealistic, right? But I mean, like, they're my expectations.
Right.
They're not the expectations that people have of themselves or of our relationship or our friendship or whatever. And it's like they're expectations that I'm putting on. So it's almost like I'm more responsible for those expectations than they are. It's funny.
which I think is true.
But our two things are like completely opposite. But I do agree with yours.
But I do think that that shows, like, I feel like my expectations are usually fairly low. My bar is very low.
I agree.
And I think your bar is very high. And so that's why you're very disappointed when people don't meet it. And I'm also disappointed when people don't meet mine because it's so low.
They're so
Like, how did you not meet that bar? And so I do think that there's a level of like, it's not unrealistic for somebody to meet that expectation because I'm used to somebody not, right? Like I'm used to that not being attainable. And so it's a nice change for me to realize that there are people that can meet it and then like go beyond that. And
Right.
then I think for you, right, you have to learn that your bar is high. And some people are going to meet it and some people aren't, but you have to be okay with that in yourself. Like it is kind of, you do have to kind of navigate like where your expectations are.
Right.
And then how does that affect you?
100%. We're, once again, we're opposites. Like, I don't know how this works, but all right. That's it.
We're still here.
Bye.